Okay, let's slow down and really sit in this energy together. Let's tune in deeply and honestly, like we're truly reading what's in their heart right now. If you've been in no contact, if things have felt silent, heavy, or confusing between you, this message carries a lot of emotional intensity. The very first feeling coming through is frustration. But not just frustration, jealousy, possessiveness, a kind of territorial energy that they may not even want to admit to themselves. It's almost like they're saying, you're off limits. Not in a controlling way, but in a way that reveals how strongly they still feel connected to you, even if they were the one who pulled away, even if they created distance, even if they convinced themselves it was necessary. You may genuinely have no idea that they feel this deeply. From your perspective, things may look final. You may feel like the connection hit a difficult point and simply couldn't survive the imbalance. And that's true, something shifted between you. This connection likely began in a peaceful space. There was comfort. There was emotional safety. There was something about each other that felt like home. But over time, the dynamic became complicated, unbalanced. Perhaps pride, fear, timing, or outside pressures started interfering. At some point, they felt like something had to change. So they pulled back. Maybe they stopped reaching out. Maybe they withdrew emotionally. Maybe they physically walked away. In their mind, they had reasons. They told themselves it was the mature or logical choice. But what they didn't expect was how deeply that decision would affect them. They thought distance would calm their emotions. Instead, it intensified them. They have not stopped thinking about you. Not truly. You cross their mind more often than you would believe. And there is a strong sense that they are watching you in some way, whether that's checking your social media, asking about you, or quietly observing your life from a distance. And what they see triggers something inside them. It triggers jealousy. It triggers fear of losing you. It triggers regret. You might be moving forward. You might be glowing differently. You might be carrying yourself with more independence or confidence. And instead of making them feel secure, it's making them feel threatened, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because they realize you are not waiting in the same energy they left you in. This is someone who has always been somewhat territorial when it comes to you, even if they didn't openly express it. That's part of why walking away was so hard. On the outside, they may have acted strong or detached. On the inside, it was anything but easy. They may have physically stepped away, but energetically, they never cut the cord. There was no clean break. There are still unresolved feelings sitting there, deep ones. Feelings they haven't processed. Feelings they haven't spoken. And here's the part that feels very important. There is something about you, something you're doing consciously or unconsciously, that is stirring them deeply. Maybe it's your silence. Maybe it's your strength. Maybe it's your growth. Whatever it is, it pulls emotions out of them that they cannot control. And that frustrates them. Because you have this ability to make them feel exposed, to make them confront parts of themselves they usually avoid. Now, the next energy that comes through feels intense and serious. It's almost like they're saying, you may not want to hear this. And immediately after that, there's another feeling. This is only the beginning. They want you to know that what you've seen from them so far is not the full truth. For most of your connection, they were holding back, playing it safe, filtering their words, choosing comfort over vulnerability. There are things they never said because they were afraid of how you would react, afraid of being too raw, afraid of looking weak, afraid of admitting how deeply you actually affected them. They may have convinced themselves that you couldn't handle their full truth, but in reality, it was their own fear holding them back. And now something has shifted inside them. It's like the pressure of unspoken words has built up to the point where it can't stay buried anymore. The energy feels like it's rising from their chest to their throat. There are confessions sitting right there waiting. They may still have moments where they think, she doesn't want to hear this, or it's too late to say this now. But that doesn't stop the truth from wanting to come out. They are entering a phase where they can no longer avoid honesty. No topic feels safe to hide anymore. No emotion feels comfortable to suppress. The truths they pushed down during the relationship are now surfacing. And it feels intense. Heavy truths. Vulnerable truths. Possibly even uncomfortable truths. There's also a sense that they're becoming more intuitive about this connection. It's almost like they can feel you energetically, like they sense shifts in your mood or your energy even without direct communication. The bond feels spiritually open, like there are no more real secrets between you at a soul level. You've reached a point where avoidance isn't sustainable anymore, even if they are quiet right now, even if they haven't reached out yet. They are under the energy of truth. This isn't small. This isn't surface level. They are questioning their decision to walk away. They are questioning whether pride or fear made them act too quickly. They are realizing that distance did not erase their feelings, it magnified them. And the deeper realization is this: they never truly let you go. They may have stepped back, they may have tried to detach, but something inside them would not allow a full release. There is unfinished emotional business here. And whether it comes out slowly or suddenly, the truth is building inside them. You may think the chapter ended, but from their side, it feels like something is just beginning. They're finally understanding what they feel, and now they're able to put real words to it. That's why their energy feels so strong and overwhelming lately. It's like something inside them has opened, and all the emotions they kept buried are rising at once. If you've been feeling sudden waves of emotion, random thoughts about them, heaviness in your chest, or intense longing that seems to come out of nowhere, it's not random. The connection feels very active right now, even if there's silence between you. You're not just anyone to them. You may be the first person who has ever made them feel this deeply, this seriously, and this emotionally exposed. They might not normally be jealous or possessive, but with you, something protective wakes up inside them. It's not about control. It's more about feeling like what they have with you is rare and sacred. There's this quiet sense of, this is mine, that they don't usually feel. And that's new for them. They may have never felt someone was off limits before. They may have never silently claimed someone in their heart the way they've claimed you. You didn't force this. You didn't chase it. It's just the way your energy affects them. Something about you activates a side of them they didn't even know existed. That's why everything feels amplified right now. Because this energy is strong, it's affecting you too. Your emotions might feel heightened. You might feel sensitive, restless, emotional, or even frustrated. Sometimes anger shows up, but that anger is just intense emotion with nowhere to go. It can feel like love mixed with hurt. And even if you're trying to stay calm, your heart is still deeply involved. There's also this sense of unspoken communication. It can feel like you're picking up on them without any direct contact. Like you just know when they're thinking about you. Like their presence shows up in your mind at random moments. It feels almost telepathic, not in a dramatic way, but in a way where energy speaks louder than words. Now here's where it gets complicated. From the outside, you may look completely fine. Maybe you didn't react when they pulled away. Maybe you didn't respond when they went quiet. Maybe you kept your pride and stayed composed. You may be protecting yourself, keeping your dignity, and choosing not to show how much you actually feel. But they can still feel you. That's what's confusing them. What they see on the outside doesn't match what they feel on the inside. On the surface, you look unbothered. You look strong. You look like you've moved on or accepted the distance. But energetically, they feel your emotions. They feel your longing. They feel your love. And that contrast is triggering them. To them, it feels like mixed signals. They're thinking, if you feel this much, why are you acting so calm? If you miss me, why are you silent? If you care, why does it look like you don't? And that internal conflict is making them uncomfortable. In normal situations, a disagreement or silence wouldn't shake them like this. But this connection is different. Even in distance, it feels alive. What makes it more intense is that none of this is being spoken out loud. There's no clear confirmation. No honest conversation where everything is laid on the table. It's all intuitive. It's all energetic. And that's new for them. They're not used to reading someone this deeply. It feels like they've tapped into a secret language, and now they can't turn it off. They're becoming more aware of their own emotions too. Things they would have ignored before, they can't ignore now. Feelings they would have brushed off are now right in front of them. They're realizing they feel protective. They're realizing they feel jealous. They're realizing they miss you. They're realizing this connection is deeper than they allowed themselves to admit. And with that realization comes regret. There's a quiet voice inside them saying, I shouldn't have done this. They're thinking about the actions that led to the distance. They didn't expect pulling away to make them feel you even more. They didn't expect stepping back to make the connection louder instead of quieter. If they had known that creating space would open them up emotionally like this, they might have made different choices. This awakening caught them off guard. They're also realizing that you are much deeper than they thought. The way you present yourself, calm, controlled, strong, is very different from the emotional depth inside you. And now that they're sensing that inner world, it changes everything. They're seeing that you carry more emotion than you show. You feel more than you say. You love deeper than you admit. It's almost shocking to them. They formed an opinion of you based on what you showed them. But now they're discovering that there's so much more beneath the surface. You're more emotional, more complex, more layered. And that realization is overwhelming. Now they're processing a lot at once. The intensity of their feelings, the protective energy, the jealousy, the regret, the awareness that distance hasn't weakened the connection, it's exposed it. They can't unfeel what they're feeling now. They can't pretend it's casual anymore. And deep down, there's another thought forming in them. If they can sense your heart this clearly, if they can feel your emotions this strongly, they wonder whether you're ready for that level of emotional truth too. Because once masks drop and energy speaks, there's nowhere to hide. Right now, everything feels intense because they're waking up emotionally. They're seeing you differently. They're seeing themselves differently. And the silence between you isn't empty. It's full of unspoken emotion. The distance isn't making them forget you. It's making them realize you. They're not just sitting with regret over the decision they made. They're also trying to understand what this connection has turned into. What once felt manageable now feels intense and exposed. It's like there are no emotional walls left between you. They have so many unanswered questions. They might be wondering if you can feel what they're feeling. Are you sensing their emotions the way they're sensing yours? Or are they alone in this experience? That uncertainty is weighing on them heavily. It feels like you somehow have access to their emotional world at a very vulnerable time, and that makes them nervous. They're trying to stay composed, but inside, there's a storm. They may even be questioning what they stepped into with you because this connection feels deeper than anything they've dealt with before. They're also going through a phase where their emotions are rising to the surface. Things they used to suppress are coming up. They're being pushed to face feelings, to acknowledge truths they once avoided. And that's uncomfortable for them. Then it becomes clear the tables have turned. They thought pulling away was the right move. Something from the past made them feel justified in creating distance. They likely planned for this break to be temporary, just enough time to regain control, to cool down, to detach a little. But they didn't expect you to respond the way you did. They didn't expect you to appear calm, steady, emotionally controlled on the outside. It's almost like they were walking away confidently, and suddenly had to stop. Because instead of losing power over the situation, they lost control over their own feelings. What was meant to help them detach has made them feel you even more. Now the energy has shifted. You seem grounded, strong, but they can sense what's in your heart, and instead of easing their emotions, it's intensifying them. They have very deep feelings for you, and their jealousy is proof of that. It's not just about you talking to someone else. It's not surface level insecurity. What really unsettles them is knowing how deeply you feel about them and imagining you giving that same time or energy to someone who doesn't hold the same position in your heart. That's what triggers them. This whole situation has awakened a possessive side of them. There's a part of them that feels like you belong together. And the more they sense your true emotions, the more they feel justified in thinking that way. This is an emotionally charged time for both of you, but they're feeling the intensity more strongly. It's heavier on their side. And deep down, they're realizing something important. You're the only one who truly knows the real them. If you've been feeling their energy strongly lately, it's because they're finally understanding that this connection isn't ordinary. When two people connect this deeply, emotionally, energetically, truthfully, it becomes very hard to move on. For them, walking away no longer feels simple. It feels almost impossible. Even if this person has pulled their energy back or stepped away from you physically, this is not finished. It may look quiet on the outside, it may look like distance, no contact, or silence. But I need you to understand something clearly. The connection itself didn't end. The moment they created space, they actually realized the opposite of what they expected. They thought walking away would help them feel less. They thought it would make things easier. But the second they were away from you, your energy became even louder in their inner world. It's like they left physically, but emotionally and mentally you came closer. They keep replaying things. Your voice, your expressions, the way you made them feel. They can't stop thinking about the moments you shared. And even if they're not saying anything right now, even if they look cold, calm, or distant, inside they're feeling more than they want to admit. They're realizing that this isn't the kind of bond you can turn off whenever you want. It doesn't work like that. Because in a connection like this, separation is more like an illusion. People can stop talking. People can block each other. People can try to move on. But at this level, there's still a link. There's still a pull. There's still a sense of, I can feel you. And that's exactly what they're experiencing right now. They're getting messages through their feelings, through memories, through sudden emotions that come out of nowhere. They could be going about their day normally and then suddenly feel you. Suddenly think of you. Suddenly wonder what you're doing. Suddenly feel a heaviness in their chest, like something is missing. And they don't always know how to explain that. But it's real for them. It's like they are learning firsthand that you can't just detach from someone when the bond goes deeper than the surface. And I want to say this gently, because it's intense, but it's what I'm picking up. This person feels like they know you deeper than anyone else. They feel like they understand parts of you that you don't even show to everyone. They can sense when you're okay and when you're not okay. They notice your emotional shifts. They feel your moods. And even when you try to hide it, even when you try to act fine, they still feel what's underneath. So if you've been telling yourself, they don't care, or they're fine without me, or they moved on, I don't feel that's true. What's happening is, they're trying to control it. They're trying to act like it doesn't affect them. But it does. This connection is emotionally sensitive, and that can be challenging. Because sometimes you might want space. Sometimes you might want distance. Sometimes you might think, I just need time to breathe. But the bond between you both doesn't just disappear because you want space. It keeps revealing the truth. It keeps bringing emotions to the surface. It keeps reminding you both that there is something unfinished. That's why this has felt so hard. And honestly, both of you will need time to get used to this kind of bond. Because it forces honesty. It forces emotional truth. It exposes feelings that people try to hide. In this connection, pretending doesn't last long. Masks don't last long. Because the emotional link pulls everything up. Now, let's talk about where this is going. I'm getting clearly, this is not over. This person is going to reach out. The energy feels like communication is coming soon. For some of you, I'm even getting they've already started breaking the silence in small ways. Maybe they checked your profile, liked something, asked about you through someone else, sent a message, or tried to test the waters. For others, it's building up right now, like they're holding back, but they're about to fold. And the reason they're coming back isn't just because they miss you. It's because they feel like they have information now. They feel like they've figured you out. They feel like they understand what you've really been feeling on the inside, even if you never said it out loud. So if you've been giving mixed signals, if you've been acting strong, acting unbothered, acting like you're completely fine, they don't believe it fully. They sense the truth. They feel the emotions behind your silence. They feel the softness behind the distance. They feel the attachment behind the calm face. And it's almost like they're coming back with confidence because they feel like they know what's really going on with you. Now, I'm also picking up something else. This person feels very possessive over you. Not in a way that's meant to harm you. Not in a low way. But in a deep emotional way. Like, they feel connected to you, and that connection makes them feel protective, attached, and yes, a little territorial. They feel like you are theirs in the sense that your energy belongs with them, your presence belongs with them, your love belongs with them. It's a strong feeling. And what's interesting is, the more distance there is, the stronger this side of them becomes. Distance triggers them. Silence triggers them. Not knowing what you're doing triggers them. Because when they can't see you, when they can't talk to you, their mind starts running. They start wondering, who is she talking to? Who is around her? Is she moving on? Is someone else getting close to her? Is she giving someone else what I wanted from her? And even if they don't say it, it's there. It's like the distance activates their jealousy, their frustration, and their need to regain control of the connection. They don't like feeling replaced. They don't like feeling uncertain. They don't like not having access to you. And again, I'm not saying this to make it sound toxic. I'm saying it because it shows you how strongly they feel. This is someone with very deep emotions, even if they don't express them in a soft way. They may not be the type to cry or beg or speak emotionally, but their actions, their energy, and their inner world show it. They are deeply affected. They are deeply triggered. They are deeply attached. And the more they try to pull away, the more they realize they can't fully. So what you're getting right now is basically a heads up. They're still tuned into you. They're still watching. They're still trying to understand you. They're still trying to figure out where they stand with you. And they're coming back around because they don't want this to be the end. This connection is still alive. And I also feel like when they come back, they're going to come back differently. Not just casually. Not just to check in. They want to claim their place again. They want to reestablish the connection. They want to feel close to you again. They want to know that you still care. They want to know that they still matter to you. And for some of you, they may even come back with a more serious energy than before, because being away from you has made them realize what you actually mean to them. So if you've been feeling that pull, if you've been feeling like this isn't done, you're not imagining it. If you've been feeling their energy randomly, thinking about them out of nowhere, feeling emotional waves, feeling restless, that's because the connection is still active on both sides. It's just that one of you might be expressing it openly, and the other one is trying to act like it doesn't exist. But it does, and it's getting stronger. So take this message as clarity and preparation, not fear, not anxiety, just awareness. If they come back soon, you'll understand why. If they reach out suddenly, you'll understand where it's coming from. And if they show signs of jealousy or intensity, you'll understand it's because the distance has been triggering deep emotions inside them. This is not over. They're feeling you. They're thinking about you. They're being pulled back toward you. And communication is coming.